Shalom Aleichem, everyone. We are learning now the sugyas and Elometzias, and I wanted to speak about some of the halachas of Dinei Hashavas Aveida, which are very practical for us. We see Aveidas, what should we do, how to return it. We're going to speak about it in these coming series of shiurim. Generally speaking, we have to know that we have two types of Aveidas, like the Mishnah discusses in the beginning of Elometzias, Aveida she'ein ba siman, things which don't have a siman, which in that the Mishnah says that if a person finds something which doesn't have a siman on it, harei elu shaloi. The reason is, the Gemara explains, because when you find something which doesn't have any siman for the owner to find it, he can't find it, he can't come and demand it from you, because he doesn't have a siman. We don't know who owns this object. So then the bailim is miyayish. He gives up on it. And since he gives up on it, that is yoytze mershusay. It becomes that it's not owned by him anymore. And Mimela, the halacha is harei elu shaloi. That's what the Mishnah says. And the next Mishnah, and Elometzias, second Mishnah says that elu shechayav lehachriz, the Aveidas which you have to be machriz are Aveidas which has a siman. The bailim is not miyayish. You're going to hang up a sign. The bailim is going to come, give a siman, and you're going to be able to do the mitzvah of Hashav Teshivim. Besides this, the mitzvah asay of Hashav Teshivim, there is also a lav of lo yisuchal yis'alem. So every time we see an Aveida, we are dealing over here with a lav and asay. So it's important to know when do you have to be machriz, and then when do we say harei elu shaloi? Like we said before, the Mishnah says, the first Mishnah, that harei elu shaloi is by Aveida she'ein ba siman, the bailim is miyayish. However, the Gemara tells us in Chaf Aleph Amud Beis that there are different types of Aveidas. Certain things that a person finds out right away that he lost it. In that category, we have money, moes, the Mishnah Gemara says, and you have something which is chashive, objects which are chashuv, expensive, and yakira, things which are heavy. A person realizes right away when it fell from him, and within a few minutes he's going to realize that it fell from him, and Mimele, he doesn't know where it is, and he is going to be miyayish. Therefore, hamoitze, a person which finds these items, the halacha is that we could say harei elu shaloi. We could assume that the bailim was miyayish. He was memashmish bekisoy. He sees he doesn't have the money, and he's miyayish. When you come and find it, it's already after that time. The bailim is miyayish, and therefore harei elu shaloi. However, things which a person does not find out about it right away, it takes time till he realizes that he lost it. Those are going to be miyayish only later on when he finds out. Then we have an issue when you pick it up before Yehush, before the bailim was miyayish, so it still belongs to him. Once it still belongs to him, we cannot say harei elu shaloi, and you have a chiyuv to be machriz, to be meishivet to the bailim. The problem is it doesn't have a siman. How am I going to be meishivet to the bailim? You have to do your hemunach. It has to be by you till somehow the bailim is going to come and find it by you. But you cannot just ignore it because it's still owned by the bailim. However, we do have a machlekes Abai and Rava on that thing. That's called Yehush Midas, which means that we know when the bailim is going to find out about it, he's going to be miyayish. But Kol Zman he didn't find out about it, doesn't know about it, he's not miyayish now. It's Yehush when he's going to find out. So that's called Yehush Midas. Rava holds Havi Yehush, Abai holds Lav Yehush. We hold halacha like Abai, Bi'al Kigam. And one of them is Yehush Midas, halacha like Abaye, that loy have a Yehush, and therefore when you pick it up, it's still owned by the bailim, and you do have a chiyuv hashava. We're not going to say harei elu shaloi. And more than that, the Rishonim say, even if you picked it up, when you picked it up before Yehush, before the bailim is miyayish, and you were holding on to it, after a while we could assume already the bailim knew about it and he was miyayish. Still, we are not going to say harei elu shaloi. It's still you have a chiyuv hashava. It's not considered harei elu shaloi, and the reason is the Ramban and Melchames and the Nesivos and Siman Reish Nun Tes explains that the pshat is that since you picked it up and when you pick it up, you have a chiyuv hashava to the bailim. You become a shomer to the bailim. You become like the yad of the bailim. And since you're the yad of the bailim, so then comes out that's yerush b'rshus. That means that when the bailim has something in his reshus, he cannot be miyash. Let's say you have something in your basement, in your attic, and you can't find it, you're looking for it, and you say, Vail lechisaron kis, I'm miyash from it. Is that going to be mafkia your bailis from the chayfetz? You're not going to be owning the chayfetz anymore? The answer is pashut that it's not going to be mevatal your bailis. You still own it, even if you said Vail lechisaron kis, you're miyash, because a person cannot be miyash on something which is in his shlita, in his reshus. The only thing you can be miyash is something which is already halfway out of your reshus. It's avud, it's in the street, it's an Aveida. So then you say, you know what, give up on it. That's your maskim. You agree to that situation. That becomes yours, that becomes mafkia, your bailis. It's not yours anymore. But if it's still by you, you can't be miyash. Says the Ramban, if you have somebody watching it for you, he's shomer it for you, it's in your reshus. How could you be miyash on something which is in your reshus? Even if you were miyash, it still remains in your reshus, it still remains yours, and therefore Yerush is not chal, and whoever found it, the halacha is it's still not going to be harei elu sheloi. So these are the klalim we have to know. Aveida sheyesh basiman is chayav lahachriz, and basiman harei elu sheloi, but only if it is mashmesh bekisei b'chol shah. If it's something which you pick up and you don't know if the bailim was miyash or not, most of the things besides the examples that we said before, the money or the heavy things or the chashuvim, so then you have chiyuv hashavas aveida, and it's not going to be harei elu sheloi. When we talk about aveida sheyesh basiman, there are three conditions they have in order to be mischayev hashavas aveida. If you're missing one of them, then there is no chiyuv hashavas aveida. One is that it has to be that it's not ruba goyim. If you have a city which the majority of the city is goyim, so then there is no chiyuv of hashavas aveida. The second thing is you have aveida, something which is a real aveida. Lafuke derech hanocha. It's not there derech hanocha. That means that the person that put something down and he's planning to come back to take it, it's not called avod from him. You don't have a chiyuv hashavas aveida to help him get it, but if you just put it down and he's planning to come back. Derech nefila, there is chiyuv hashavas aveida. Derech hanocha, there is no chiyuv hashavas aveida. And the third tnai condition is that if you have to have zaken ve'eno levich voida. That means if it's something which is not lefi your covered, and even if it be your own thing, you would not pick it up. So too, zaken ve'eno levich voida doesn't have to pick it up. An example: let's say you have an older Rosh Yeshiva walking on the street, and he sees a basketball or football there, picking it up, walking within the street, and trying to find the person that lost it. It's eno levich voida, and therefore he's patur from hashavas aveida. Now I want to go into each one of these halachas. We said that ir sheruba goyim, if you find something in a city which the majority of the city is goyim, then the halacha is there is no hashavas aveida. In the Rishonim, there's two reasons for that. Reason number one is that when you have a city which is majority of goyim, we could assume that it fell from the goyim, because roiv goyim is stama, it fell from a goy. And we know there's no hashavas aveida by items of goyim, unless we'll see later on, maybe it's Kiddush Hashem, but mitzad din hashavas aveida, there's no hashavas aveida on moment of a goy. Davka la'achicha, velo goy. Reason number two is, even if you know that this thing fell from Israel, that has a siman, it fell from Israel, maybe it has a name, and you see that it's Israel owns this chayfetz, still the halacha is harei elu sheloi. The reason is because the Israel is miyash. He knows that he lost something, but ir sheruba goyim, chances that he gets it back is very low, and therefore he's miyash from it. So even if you know it's from Israel, it is going to be harei elu sheloi. In fact, there is an interesting case in Chodesh HaMishpat test, Seif Dalet. It says there, if a person found a chavis yain, a barrel of wine, be'ir sheruba goyim, the halacha is, he finds it, harei elu sheloi, but he can't drink it. The reason he can't drink it is because it's yain nesach, it's mistama owned by the goy. What happens when Israel comes and gives a siman that we know that this barrel belongs to the Israel, then we say we know it's the Israel. The halacha is, says the Shulchan Aruch, you tell the Yisrael, thank you very much for letting me know that this is not yain nesach, and harei elu shaloi, and I'm keeping it and I'm drinking it. I don't have to return it to you. The reason is because you were miyayish, yisharu b'goyim. The halacha is that it's yush, and you could keep it. We'll see soon what the halacha is lifnei mishuras hadin. But this is me'ikar adin. In the Shulchan Aruch Reish Mentes Seif Hey brings down the Shulchan Aruch from the Rishonim that even though me'ikar adin harei elu shaloi, toy v'yashar lasas lifnei mishuras hadin ulehachz, you should return an Aveida that Israel gives you a siman, even if he was miyayish. And halacha, it's yours. You could keep it, but lifnei mishuras hadin, you should return it to him. You know it's his. You know he lost it. You should give it back to him. And that's what we do. Lifnei mishuras hadin. Everything we're speaking about over here is a city. You find it on the street. Ir sharuba goyim harei elu shaloi. But if you have a city which is the majority of goyim, but you have neighborhoods which Jewish people live in the neighborhoods, and majority of those neighborhoods, those areas, people that walk there, of Roiv are not Goyim, Rav Yisrael, or Avilu Mechza al Mechza Yisrael, the halacha is, then it is Chayav Lahachriz, the person is not Miyayish, we don't assume that it fell from a Goy, and therefore the halacha is Chayav Lahachriz. So therefore, if you find an Aveida in the parking lot of the shul, then you could assume that it's from a Jewish person. Avada yav chiyuv Hashavas Aveida. We actually had a case the other week that one of the Gabayim in the shul, he found in the parking lot of the shul an earring. He saw something shining and he goes and he picks it up and he sees it's an earring. He picked it up and Motzei Shabbos he went to the person that made a simcha in the shul. He asked him, did anybody lose? He's put it on a text. And a few minutes later, a lady responded that she actually the one who lost an earring. It was an older lady. She walked from far away and she lost the earring. And the Gabbai said, okay, give me a siman, send me a picture of the earring that you have. I could match it up. And it really matched the two earrings. And he was able to make the mitzvah of Hashavas Aveida.